Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom. Be sure to head over to cardkingdom.com to pick up all the latest Commander Legends cards you need to finish your decks. Hey guys, it's Richard, and I'm here to talk to everyone about my top 5 favorite cards from Commander Legends, the cards I'm most excited to play with on Commander Clash. Now, if you haven't checked out Commander Clash, that's where we play a weekly game of Commander with all kinds of weird and zany themes. And I typically like to play really bad tribes and do weird things rather than focusing purely on power. So my top 5 list are 5 cards, which you probably won't see on any power rankings, but these are cards I'm super excited to build around, to share my decks with you guys, and to hopefully smash face on Commander Clash with. So let's get into the list. All right, first up we have Roguerack, Son of Roga, a 0-mana 0/1 legendary Kobold Warrior, first strike, menace, trample, hailing from Carekeep. He's the son of Roga, who is actually a creature from Legends. Not very good, but his son has come for revenge and to unleash the power of Carekeep in Commander Legends. Now, my favorite part of this card is it's a 0-mana 0/1. That's weird. There aren't that many in all of Magic, and they all happen to be kobolds. But you can seriously power this guy up with, like, say, a Commander's Plate, a Colossus Hammer, or a Black Blade Reforged. Turns him into a very scary threat. Being a 0-mana 0/1, it's really easy to recast Roguerack. The Commander tax is basically the casting cost. So first you pay 0, then you pay 2, then you pay 4 for each subsequent death. And actually, it's pretty good paired up with the Dousing Dagger, one of the best cards in all of Magic. You can play Roguerack really early, equip your dagger, get in for 4 damage, and then flip into incredible ramp. Next up, we have Jared Carthalion, True Heir, a Naya commander at 3 CMC, a 3/3 legendary creature human warrior. When Jared enters the battlefield, target opponent becomes the monarch. You can't become the monarch this turn. If damage would be dealt to Jared while you are the monarch, prevent that damage and put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Now, I'm gonna have to admit, the first thing I saw when I saw this art was Kevin Sorbo. I don't know if you guys watched like Hercules, Xena, Sinbad, but those are some of my favorite shows. And this is giving me that serious kind of old fantasy, maybe even like romantic fantasy novels geared towards young females. But this, I'm looking forward to busting this out on a flavor week on Commander Clash, where I build a Hercules deck. This is going to be sweet. Now, you know, I think this card is actually really strong aside from flavor wins. The first ability, some people may see it as a negative. Giving away the monarchy doesn't feel good, but there's a lot of political gain you can get. You can curry some favor from someone for doing this. So I think that's actually an upside, or you can like team up against someone who's winning. So I think that's pretty good. But the second ability is where you can go nuts. If you can deal a lot of damage, for example, a Blasphemous Act, a Star of Extinction, or even like a good old-fashioned Earthquake, you can make Jared just one-shot people out of nowhere. Like, imagine Blasphemous Act wipe the board. Jared is now 16 power of commander damage. So there are lots of ways to really abuse this. And then you can just do it the fair way. Like, if your opponent has like an 8/8 blocker or something, you just attack into them. If they block, you prevent 8 damage, and Jared is monstrous. If they don't block, you hit them, you take the monarchy, all is good. So I actually really like Jared. So I am calling dibs on Jared. On Commander Clash, I'll build probably a Hercules deck. Maybe I'll pair it up with a Xena Warrior Princess deck. But yeah, I think this is a really cool card. Next up, we have a Rumi of the Dead Tide, which is actually the official MTG Goldfish preview card. 1 blue and a black. It's a 1/4 legendary creature, Merfolk Wizard, only an uncommon, so very easy to get. If you tap a Rumi, exile cards from your graveyard equal the number of opponents you have. Target creature card in your graveyard gains Encore until end of turn. The Encore cost is equal to its mana cost. And what Encore does is you exile the creature and pay its mana cost. For each opponent, create a token copy that attacks that opponent this turn if able. They gain haste sacrifice at the beginning of the next end step. So I think the combo potential of this card is insane. If you have a Gary, a Gray Merchant, and you bring it back with this ability, you get 3 copies, assuming you have 3 opponents. That's 6 devotion right there. A Rumi adds 1, that's 7 devotion. So 7 times 3, you're draining the table for 21 damage. You're gaining all that life back. It is insane. Imagine if you had a Worm Coil engine. You whip that into play. You hit people for 18 damage of life linking Death Touch. They all get sacrificed at the end of turn and then give you permanent Worm Coil token creatures. So I actually think this card is insane. I'm not even sure why it's an uncommon. It seems a lot stronger than a lot of the rares. But I am looking forward to some graveyard shenanigans. Works really well with things that have death triggers, enter the battlefield triggers, like Gray Merchant and Worm Coil. If you want to be really cheeky, you can Massacre Worm. Oh, it's going to deal so much damage. But yeah, a Rumi, I think, is a really sweet build around me commander. All right, next up, we have Hamza, Guardian of Irration, 4 green and a white, 5/5, legendary creature, Elephant Warrior. This creature costs 1 less for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Creature spells you cast cost 1 less for each creature you control with a +1/+1 counter on it. Look at this art. To me, this is a warrior. That is one beefy elephant boy ready to pound your face in. What I'm looking to do with this deck is to get a Great Henge down so that you draw a card every time you play a creature. Those creatures get +1/+1 counters. And then the rest of your deck will be artifact creatures. So you play them all for free with Hamza's ability. So you can imagine going big into things like Wormcoil Engine, Kozalex, just random Eldrazi, and going nuts. So I think Hamza is a great commander for that. A lot of combo potential. There's just a lot of ways to get +1/+1 counters in green. You can use Nissa. You can use Evolve creatures. There's just, the possibilities are endless. And a Great Henge just makes you not run out of gas. So you can just keep dumping creature after creature after creature and going nuts. So I actually really like this card. The art is really good. When I'm playing a warrior, this is what I want to look like. I don't want to look like some scrawny human. Give me the big elephant with like the giant back muscles or whatever. He's here to smash. If you've been following me on Commander Clash, you probably would have been able to guess this card. It is Kinsvale Courier. Probably the only common you're going to see on anyone's top 5 or top 10 list from Commander Legends. It's a 3 CMC 2/1 Kiskin Soldier at common. And when Kinsvale Courier enters the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. Encore for 3. Again, for each opponent, you put a Kinsvale Courier on the battlefield. You get a +1/+1 counter off of it. At the end of turn, sacrifice. So a 3-mana 3/2 is already above rate for Kithkins. Kithkins were designed in an age of pre-power creep. The last Kithkin printed was in Lorwyn. That's like 13 years ago. They kind of sucked. Kinsvale Courier, a 3-mana 3/2, pretty respectable. Comes with an ability. So when you encore Kinsvale Courier, you can actually put 3 +1/+1 counters on something. You don't want to really put them on the tokens because they go away at end of turn. But basically, you get to put 3 +1/+1 counters on something and go to town. Now, is this card good? It's better than most Kithkin. But, you know, it's not the Kithkin breaking, format warping Kithkin card we're waiting for. But this gives me an excuse to bring back Kithkin again. We've played it multiple times in Commander Clash. We've never won. We've come close a couple times. But maybe this is the edge and power we need to put us into that first place position. But I'm more excited at what the future holds. Wizards hasn't printed Kithkin in 13 years. We kind of thought they forgot about Kithkin. They are kind of the halflings or the hobbits of the Magic universe. They haven't seen new cards in a long time. But here's a new card. So maybe we're going to get more Kithkin in the future. Maybe we'll get an uncommon Kithkin, you know, maybe even a rare Kithkin. We don't want to get our hopes up, but Kithkin Tribal, really fun deck. A lot of weird mechanics that you probably never heard of. And now we can add Encore to that list. So I will definitely be rocking Kithkin Tribal again on Commander Clash sometime. And hopefully we can notch a W there with the help of some new Commander Legends cards. All right, so that wraps up our top 5 cards we're excited to play with on Commander Clash. Let me know what you guys think. What are your 5 favorite cards? And no, don't say Jeweled Lotus or other broken, overpowered cards. What are the cards that like hit that spot, bring back childhood memories, makes you laugh, whatever. Let's see what unique cards you guys are excited to play with. All right, thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for all the latest videos. And if you want to watch other Commander Top 10 videos from other members of Commander Clash, like Seth, Krim, and Tomer, be sure to click the cards appearing on your screen now.